in the hollowed resonance of the basalt nave, where the silence of centuries gathers like dust upon the golden leaf of the reredos. A single voice begins to weave the ancient thread of a monophonic prayer, rising from the throat of the cloister as a thin pillar of frankincense ascending toward the unseen vaulting of the sky. This is the breath of the stone made audible, the linear path of the neumes, tracing the contours of a soul that has long since surrendered its own will to the cadence of the eternal word. Alma Redemptoris Mater. The syllables fall like heavy drops of crystalline honey into the chalice of the evening air, echoing the longing of a world that stumbles in the twilight of its own frailty, seeking the luminous threshold where the divine and the human first met. In the mystery of a virgin's fiat, the chant is not merely a song, but a physical architecture of sound, a wall of protection built from the vibrating air, to shield the vulnerable heart from the arrows of the noonday devil and the creeping shadows of the labyrinthine night. As the single line of the cantor expands into the multi-layered architecture of the Catholic choir, the polyphony becomes a celestial forest where every voice is a branch reaching for the unreachable light of the morning star. The harmony swells with the density of 1,000 prayers offered in the secret chambers of the catacombs and the soaring heights of the Gothic spires, creating a tapestry of sound that wraps around the faithful like the indigo mantle of the Queen of Heaven. O loving Mother of the Redeemer, thou who remainest the open gate of the kingdom, through which the King of Glory passed into the dust of our mortality, stay thou near us as we navigate the treacherous currents of the falling world. We seek the shadow of thy protection, not as those who fear the light, but as those who recognize that thy presence is the very refraction of the light of lights, softened by the prism of thy maternal grace. Beneath the arched ribs of the cathedral, the choir breathes as one, lungs expanding with the spirit that once hovered over the primordial waters. And in this collective respiration, we find the sanctuary that no earthly kingdom can provide. The music is a shield of hammered silver, polished by the repetition of 1,000,000 Ave-Marias, a bulwark against the discord of the age, where the sacred is often trampled by the profane. We call upon the star of the sea, whose name is a melody, in the midst of the tempest, to guide the ship of our longing toward the harbor of the great reconciliation. Let thy protection be the silence that follows the thunder, the coolness of the dew upon the scorched earth of our anxieties, and the steady hand that holds the lamp when the oil of our own faith begins to flicker and wane. In the rising and falling of the melismatic phrases, we hear the rhythm of the tides and the beating of a heart that once sheltered the creator of the universe. Within its rhythmic walls, the choir ascends to a shimmering crescendo of supplication, a wall of intercession that pierces the heavy clouds of our collective sorrow. To touch the hem of the transcendent, we are the children of Eve who fell, and thou art the gate that remains forever. Open the portus aeli, through which the hope of the world continually flows. The protection we invoke is not a mere absence of pain, but a presence of purpose, a sacred enclosure where the soul is fortified to endure the transformative fires of divine love. Every note of this hymn is a stone in the spiritual fortress we build in thy honor, Mother of Mercy, whose eyes reflect the clarity of the beatific vision, even as they look upon the weeping of the valley. May the Gregorian cadence haunt the hallways of our memory, providing a steady pulse of sanctity in the chaotic thronging of the marketplace. Let the chords of the choir be the woven fibers of a shield that deflects the cynicism of the broken and the bitterness of the proud, as the final echoes of the chant dissipate into the stillness of the sanctuary. Let the essence of thy protection linger like the scent of roses in a winter garden, a quiet assurance that we are never orphaned from the source of our redemption. Thou who did succor the fallen nature of man by giving flesh to the infinite be, now the guardian of our finite steps. The hymn ends in a low drone of contemplated peace, a foundational resonance that anchors the spirit to the bedrock of ancient truth. In the space of sound and silence, we are cloaked in the majesty of the Alma Redemptoris Mater. Find us where the shadows are longest, and lead us by the shimmering trail of thy starlight to the dawn that shall never know an evening. The protection of thy name is a melody written upon the heart, a sacred armor of lyric and light that no darkness. The thumb finds the grain of the first cedar bead, where the wood meets the silver of a hanging cross, and the world begins to dissolve into the cadence of a singular breath. This is the architecture of the unsaid, a cathedral built of repetition, where 12 voices rise like pillars of smoke from an altar of silence. It starts in the hollow of the palm, a tactile geography of grace that maps the distance between the finite heart and the infinite sky. We begin not with words, but with the weight of the stream, a tether to the shore for those who are about to drown in the sapphire depths of contemplation. The first hymn is the scent of the crushed lily in the dawn of an empty room, a vibration of fiat that trembles through the marrow of history. It is the sound of an angel's wing brushing against the limestone of Nazareth, a gold-threaded melody that promises nothing but the beautiful burden of a God made small. Here, the prayer is a cool spring, a draught of peace for the scorched throat of the wanderer. We walk the hills of Judea with a secret folded in the womb, feeling the quickening of a promise that outshines the sun. The rhythm of the walking is the rhythm of the beat, temple of the Spirit. Then the light shifts, turning from the pale white of the morning to the honeyed amber of the miracle. We stand where the jars are filled to the brim with the water of our common days, watching as a mother's gaze turns the liquid into the vintage of the kingdom. The meditation deepens now, entering the realm of the numinous, where the taber light blinds the mortal eye and reveals the transfigured face of love. These are the songs of the luminous, the melodies of the mountain and the lake, where the peace offered is not the absence of storm, but the authority to walk upon the waves. We breathe in the incense of the transfiguration and breathe out the dust of our own mortality, cleansed by the fire that does not consume. But the roses of this prayer are not without their thorns, for the path of the rosary leads eventually to the shadow of the olive grove. The music turns somber, a minor key played on the strings of a broken heart. We feel the damp chill of Gethsemane, the salt of the sweat that falls like rubies upon the parched earth. Here the prayer is a shield, a powerful Marian song for the soul that sits in the darkness of its own betrayal. We watch the purple dawn of the passion, the scourging of the innocent, the weight of the crossbeam that groans with the sins of 1,000 generations. Each beat is a tear, each hour a stitch in the shroud of the world's grief. We stand at the foot of the wood, silent in the presence of the Mater Dolorosa, learning that the deepest peace is found in the surrender to the absolute mystery of sacrifice. Yet the circle does not end in the tomb, for the 12th hymn is a triumphant shattering of the ossified gates of death. The air is suddenly thick with the perfume of the resurrection, a golden vapor that rises from the empty linen. The meditation ascends now, soaring on the wings of the Assumption, following the trail of sapphire and pearl, as the Queen is lifted into the heart of the Trinity. The music is a celestial polyphony of 12 stars that crown the head of the woman, clothed with the sun. It is the peace of the final arrival, the meditation of the soul that has finally found its home in the everlasting garden. Between the decades, in the holy pause, where the gloria fades into the next mystery, there is a silence so profound it seems to hold the entire universe in its hands. This is the core of the rosary, the center of the rose, where the petals meet. It is a stillness that is not empty, but pregnant with the presence of the one who pondered all things in her heart. To pray these 12 hymns is to weave a garment of light for the naked spirit, to find a sanctuary of rhythm amidst the chaos of the passing hour. The beats click like the ticking of a cosmic clock, but they measure not time but eternity. They are the ladder of the humble, the weapon of the peaceful, and the song of the transitated, who knows that every breath is a gift and every amen is a return to the source of all love. indigo shadows of the sanctuary stretch long against the cooling stone. As the clock strikes the 7th hour of the final day, there is a specific gravity to this late assembly, a gathering of the weary who carry the dust of the weekend on their souls and the anticipation of the coming labor in their quieted hearts. Here, under the dimming rafters, the air is thick with the scent of extinguished beeswax and the lingering sweetness of the afternoon's incense. Yet something more ancient begins to stir. The choir, a small constellation of voices in the loft, prepares to breathe life into the silence. Their harmonies not of a triumphant morning, but of a deep, sustaining dusk. We stand at the threshold where the temporal meets the eternal, where the simple fruit of the earth and the work of human hands are poised to become the sustenance of the soul. Listen to the rustle of the grain in the wind of the Judean hills. The sound transposed into the soft shuffling of feet moving toward the center aisle. This is the threshed gold of the field, ground between the heavy stones of our shared burdens, moistened by the tears of our collective longing, and fired in the kiln of a love that refuses to remain distant. The lyrics of Kuni rise like a slow-burning flame, reminding us that we do not merely come to observe a miracle, but to be consumed by one. I myself am the bread of life. The melody insists, not as a static relic behind glass, but as a living pulse, a brokenness that heals, a poverty that enriches the beggar and the king alike. The 7 p.m. choir understands the nuance of the minor key, the way the harmony leans into the dissonance of our daily lives before resolving into a grace that feels like coming home. In this bread, there is the memory of the Passover moon and the shadow of the cross, yet it is flavored with the hope of an empty tomb. It is the food for the journey through the wilderness of the modern street, the calories of the spirit needed to survive the indifference of the world. As the cup is raised, it reflects the amber glow of the vigil lamps, a reservoir of mercy for the parched throat. We are invited to a table that knows no borders, a feast where the currency is faith and the only requirement is hunger. The choir's song becomes a between the altar and the exit, a reminder that the liturgy does not end when the doors are locked, but begins when the crumbs of this sacred meal are carried out into the dark. The architecture of the evening is built on these phrases. Those who come to me shall not hunger, spoken into the hollows of our own inadequacy. We are a people of the twilight, seeking the light that does not fail as the sun departs. The bread is passed, the wine is shared, and in the intimacy of this 7 p.m. communion, the distinction between the giver and the gift begins to blur. We become the body we receive, we become the life we celebrate. The music swells, not in a roar of pride, but in a tidal wave of surrender, washing over the pews and the stained glass, soaking into the very marrow of those who kneel. It is a radical hospitality, an invitation to lose oneself in the breaking, and to find oneself in the gathering, as the final notes of the hymn drift toward the voice closed, their mission accomplished in the quiet transformation of the room. The Sunday night silence returns, but it is no longer empty. It is pregnant with the grace of the bread of life. We walk out into the cooling city, under the stars that witness our smallness, bearing within us the fire that was kindled at the altar. The week ahead may be long, and the challenges may be many, but the resonance of the 7 p.m. choir remains a rhythmic heartbeat of hope, a persistent echo of the promise that we shall never walk alone, fed by the hand of the one who is both the host and the meal. The dust of 2 millennia has settled into the creases of my own palms. Yet the gravel of the Via Dolorosa feels fresh beneath the soles of a soul weary from the winters of its own making. There is a specific gravity to this season, a density of atmosphere, where the air turns into thick cedar smoke and the scent of bitter hyssop. You do not merely walk beside me. You have reached into the hollow architecture of my chest and extracted the leaden weights I've named and the ones I've buried in silence. The wood of the beam is not a solitary object of history, but a porous vessel absorbing the salt of my particular tears, the jagged edges of my betrayals, and the cold iron of my indifference. I watch your shoulders shift under the impossible geometry of my grief, the grain of the timbers singing a low, agonizing cello note against the bone of your strength. The road is not a straight line across the map of Jerusalem, but a winding ascent through the corridors of my own fractured memory. Every stone turned by a passing foot is a day I surrendered to despair. Every drop of sweat that strikes the parched earth is a ransom for a moment I thought was lost to the void. You are the great alchemist of agony, turning the dross of my failures into the gold of a shared pilgrimage. As the sun of 2026 hangs low and heavy, casting long, skeletal shadows across our modern pavements, the friction of the crossbar against your skin echoes the friction of my own conscience. You do not ask for a lighter load, you ask only for my honesty, as you heft the crushing bulk of my arrogance onto that reddened shoulder, your breath hitching in a rhythm that matches the thumping of my own fearful heart. There is a silence that accompanies this climb, a quiet so profound it swallows the shouting of the crowds and the metallic clatter of the centurion's gear. In this stillness, I realize that the splinters entering your flesh are carved from the trees of my own stubborn gardens. You are carrying the weight of my midnights, the exhaustion of my unanswered prayers, and the dull ache of a world that has forgotten how to kneel. The ascent to Calvary is an education in the physics of mercy, how one man can the gap between the infinite weight of sin and the fragile capacity of human endurance. I see the muscles of your neck corded like ancient roots, anchoring the heavens to the earth, while my own hands remain empty, lightened by your refusal to let me shatter under the burden I constructed. The flickering candle in the window of my Lenten vigil casts a glow that mimics the fire in your eyes, a fire not of judgment, but of a searing, purifying love that burns through the facade of my adequacy. We move together toward the crest of the hill, the sky bruising into deep purples and bruised indigos, reflecting the colors of your skin, where the lash is written its terrible poetry. You are the lamb who carries the lion's share of the world's darkness, stepping deliberately into the teeth of the storm so that I might find shelter in the lee of your wounds. The road is steep and the flint is sharp, yet you find a footing in the midst of my instability, steadying the universe even as your own knees buckle under the pressure of my specific transgressions. This is the alchemy of the road. My sorrow becomes your geography. Your exhaustion becomes my rest. I watch the way the timber scrapes against the ground, leaving a trail in the dust that serves as a map for my return to grace. Every stumble you take is a corrective for my own aimless wandering, a divine pause that allows me to catch my breath while you lose yours. The air is thick with the anticipation of the nails, yet the grace of this movement, this slow, deliberate trudge toward the end of all things, is the most beautiful movement ever choreographed by the divine. You are the atlas of my personal failures, lifting the world of my regrets and placing it upon the altar of your own body, turning the road to Calvary into a that spans the abyss of my own making. As the shadows of Lent deepen and the liturgical clocks tick toward the Great Friday, the resonance of your footsteps becomes the only pulse that matters. I am stripped of my excuses, left only with the stark reality of your sacrifice, and the weight you have stripped from my back to place upon your own. The journey is long, the hill is high, and the wood is heavy, but the love that fuels this climb is a fire that cannot be quenched by the waters of death. I follow in the wake of your suffering, a beggar enriched by voluntary poverty, watching as you carry the totality of my existence toward the place where the sun refuses to shine, so that I might one day wake in a light that never fades. The road is your gift, the burden is my life, and the Savior is the one who refuses to let go of either until the work is finished.
The shadows of the late Sabbath stretch across the nave as the final Sunday sun dips below the city's jagged horizon, casting long amber ribbons through the stained glass that fall upon the worn mahogany of the pews. It is 7 o'clock, that hallowed hour of transition, where the frantic pulse of the weekend surrenders to the quiet spection of the night. And here, in the dimming sanctuary, the piano begins its rhythmic heartbeat. The hammers strike the wire with a gentle insistency, weaving a tapestry of rolling arpeggios that mirror the movement of wheat swaying in a